welcome to Black Screen Stories and Parables by Queen's Intuition. All right, we have a good one today. It's all about a little girl and her dreams. All right, let's get started. Alice was beginning to get very tired, sitting by her sister on the riverbank and having nothing to do. Once or twice she peeped into her book her sister was reading. There was no pictures or conversations in it. It was just a book. What's the use of a book? It needs pictures, it needs conversation, thought Alice. The hot day made her feel very sleepy, and she sat stroking her cat, Dina. And suddenly, a white rabbit with pink ears ran close to her. Alice was not surprised to hear the rabbit say, "Oh, my fur, my whiskers. I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late." But when the rabbit actually took out a watch from its waist pocket and looked at it and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet. It flashed across her mind she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat, a pocket, or a watch, or to take it out and look at it. Burning with curiosity, she decided to chase the rabbit, and she ran after him in time to see it pop into a large rabbit hole. In another moment, down went Alice straight after it. She jumped right in that hole, never once considering how in the world she would get out of it again. The rabbit hole was very, very deep, and she fell and she fell and she fell, and had plenty of time as she went down to look about her. The walls and the holes were lined with cupboards and shelves. Here and there she saw maps and pictures that hung on pegs. She took down a jar from one of the shelves and passed it, and it was labeled orange marmalade. Oh, but to her great disappointment, it was empty. Oh, shoot. Down, down, down she fell. And the fall never come to an end? Yes, it will. Suddenly, thump, 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 thump. Down she came on a heap of sticks and dry leaves. The fall was finally over. Alice was not even hurt, and she jumped to her feet in a moment, and before it was just another long passage, the white rabbit was still in sight, hurrying down it. Away went Alice like the wind. She was close behind the rabbit, but when she turned the corner, it was no longer to be seen. Alice was in a long hall of doors all around it, and they were all locked. Behind a curtain was a small door, and when Alice peeked in there through the keyhole to see what was going on, it was a lovely garden. The doorknob of the door startled Alice, and it was talking to her. "You too big to get through here? It's simply impassable for you. I mean impossible." Alice said, "No." The doorknob said, "No. Impassable. Nothing is impossible. Try the bottle on the table next to the gold key." Alice took the bottle, which was labeled "Drink Me." But the wise little girl was not going to do that in a hurry. She looked first at sure it wasn't marked poison, then for Alice told herself, if you drink too much of this bottle marked poison, it's sure to disagree with you. With sooner or later, this bottle had no such warning, so she drank it. Oh no. She found herself going smaller and smaller and smaller until she was only 10 inches high. Just the right size for going through the door to the garden, but she left a key on the table. "Just try the box," said the doorknob. Alice noticed a little box and it said, "Eat me." Oh dear. She looked at it and then she nibbled the cookie inside. And then she got bigger and bigger and bigger until her head struck against the roof of the hall. "Oh no, this is curiouser and curiouser. Oh man, goodbye." She stopped growing and she came more than 9 feet high. Oh wow. She came more and more. Now She was too big to go through the door in the garden again. So Alice just simply began to cry, and she cried and cried until there was a huge pool of tears, and she saw a little bottle bobbing in the water. As she quickly drank the few drops remaining in it, immediately she shrank to the tiny size and fell into the bottle. Oh no! Riding safely within the bottle, Alice was swept on a wave of her own tears straight through the keyhole. With the help of several strange creatures she encountered, Alice crawled out of the bottle and set off to explore the new land to search for the white rabbit. On the first adventure, she met two fat, quarreling brothers, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, who insisted on reciting poems to her. First, they did A Horse and a Carpenter, and Alice listened very politely. When it was over, she went to leave, but Tweedledee twins insisted, "No, no, 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 we have something else. How about Father William?" And while they were reciting the third verse, she quietly slipped away. Soon she came to a near little house, on the door of which was a bright brass plate that said W. Rabbit engraved upon it. Just when the upstairs shutters flew open, the White Rabbit himself appeared, and it called out, "Why, Marianne, what are you doing here? Run! Run! In a moment, and go fetch my gloves." The White Rabbit hurried into the house and waited impatiently while Alice searched out inside for the gloves, and she found a cookie jar, and it said, "Take one." So she did. Next thing she knew, she was growing again, and she grew so huge, and her arms and legs burst through the windows of the house. The White Rabbit, seeing the ruination of his home, cried out, "Help! Help! There's surely a monster in my home." It cries brought Dodo the lizard, both whom tried to get Alice out of the house, but no success, for it was Alice herself who spied a carrot growing in the garden. "I wonder what happened if I eat that," she thought, reaching her giant hand out the window, as now she had taken over the whole house. So she picked a carrot. As soon as she took a nibble, she became small again. But by that time, White Rabbit had run off, and he was muttering again, "Oh gosh, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. Oh, I'm so late. The Queen will never forgive me. I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. Oh, I can't wait. Goodbye, hello, bye, bye. All right, I'm late." While Alice tried to follow the rabbit again through the garden, but it was too fast for her. She noticed a cloud of smoke, and Alice traced it up to a large mushroom, and on that sat a caterpillar, contentedly blowing smoke rings and puffing on a hookah. "Who are you?" the caterpillar demanded as he saw the girl. "Exactly what is your problem?" Alice answered, "It's exactly, well, I mean, exactly, I'd like to be a little bit larger, sir." "Why?" the caterpillar demanded. "Well, 3 inches is just a record height. It's just not going to work for me." The caterpillar was insulted by the words, and he said, "I am exactly 3 inches high. It's a very good height indeed." And before Alice could apologize, the caterpillar disappeared in a thick cloud of smoke and was gone. In its place, a butterfly appeared and said, "By the way," he said, resuming the conversation, for indeed the caterpillar had changed himself into a butterfly, "I have another helpful hint for you. If you eat one side of this mushroom, it'll make you grow taller, and the other side will make you grow shorter." And then he flew away. Alice nibbled from both sides of the mushroom and reached her normal size. "There. Whew, much better. I think I'll save these," and she pocketed 2 pieces of the magic mushroom, and one from each side. Now Alice found herself in the dark forest with no idea where to go to find the White Rabbit. The signs posted on the trees only added to her confusion. Looking about, she started to see a Cheshire cat sitting on a bough of a tree, grinning down at her. "Hello, Cheshire Cat," she said timidly. "Would you tell me, please, which way ought I go from here?" "That depends on where you want to go," said the cat. "I really don't care. I'm trying to find the right rabbit." "Well," said the cat, "in that direction lives a hatter. In that direction also lives a March hare. They're both mad, you do realize. Hmm. Alice looked frightened. We're all mad here, said the cat. I'm mad. You're mad. Why would you even come here? And the Cheshire Cat began to vanish quite slowly, beginning at the end of its tail, and then it ended up with its grin. Well, I often seen a cat without a grin, thought Alice, but I never seen a grin without a cat. It's the most curious thing I've ever seen in my life. Alice then decided to walk in the direction of the March Hare's house. A table was set out underneath a tree in front of the house, and the March Hare and the Hatter was having tea on it. A dormouse was fast asleep between them, and the other two were using it as a cushion, resting their elbows and talking all over its head. And they were having an unbirthday party. When they saw Alice coming out, they cried, "Oh, we have no room. We have no room for you." There's plenty of room, Alice said indignantly, and sitting down directly on the armchair at one end of the table. It was the maddest tea party Alice had ever attended. What with changing seats, changing cups every minute, the hare and the hatter trying to stuff the poor dormouse into the teapot, the conversation making no sense whatsoever. Alice was growing more and more bewildered. It was just too much for her. Abruptly, the hatter took out his watch out of his pocket and said, "What day of the month it is?" I was thought for a moment. "I think it's the 4th." "2 days slow," sighed the hatter. "I told you better not wouldn't suit these works," he added, looking angrily at the March hare. "It was the best butter. It did suit the works." "Yes, but these crumbs have gotten all over the well," Hatter mumbled. "You shouldn't have put it in here with that bread knife." Turning to Alice, he asked, "Do you think the tea might be a little bit better?" "Really, now you ask me?" Said Alice. Then you shouldn't even talk," said the Hatter. The piece of rudeness was more than Alice could bear. She got up with great disgust and simply walked off. "I need to find a white rabbit," she thought angrily. She asked how to get to his home. She had quite enough of this. Just then she noticed a little path between two hedges, and she followed it. Soon she found herself in another beautiful garden with bright flower beds, cool fountains, and a large rose tree that stood near the entrance of a beautiful garden. The roses were growing, they were white, and the three playing cards were gardeners busily painting them red all over again. And Alice asked him, "Why?" "We planted white roses by mistake. The queen likes them red. She saw the white, she raised a fuss, and each of us would be in trouble." At that moment, the two of clubs called out, the queen, here she comes." The three gardeners immediately threw themselves flat on their faces. The sound of many footsteps, Alice looked around, eager to see the queen, soldiers and courtiers among them. The white rabbit formed a grand procession, and last of all came king and queen of hearts. When they reached Alice, the queen said severely, "Who is this?" No one answered. "Idiots!" She tossed her head impatiently. "What is your name?" "Speak nicely." Ali curtsied and replied, Um, uh, I just, So when the queen demanded to know where she saw these things and what was she going to say, all she could think of was, um, how should I know none of this is my business? The indignancy of you. The queen turned crimson with fury. "I have had enough of this child. She cannot stay." "Nonsense," said Alice very loudly and decidedly, and the queen went silent. "Can you play croquet?" shouted the queen. "Yes," shouted Alice. "Well, come on then." Alice was given a flamingo for a croquet mallet and a hedgehog for a ball. The players all played at once without waiting their turns, and they were quarreling and fighting while Queen went about stamping and shouting, "I've had enough of this, she gotta go. I've had enough of this, she's gotta go." In the midst of the turmoil, the Cheshire Cat came back, still grinning. Then it disappeared and reappeared again. The Queen was provoked by these pranks, and Alice talked to the cat. It seemed to be a friend of hers. And the Queen demanded, "Who is this cat?" Alice was put back in a situation where she had no idea what was going on. And it was swirling and swirling and swirling. And then, "Alice, wake up! Wake up, Alice!" said her sister. "You were sleeping." "Oh, wow! I had such a curious dream. It was the dream of Wonderland." "Well, now it's time for you to get your tea. It's getting late. Come on, baby sister. Let's go home." Wow. Her imagination was really going in that dream. All right. We'll see you soon.